Yo, what's up? This is Shadow Rock and ProfoWon of the Floor Gangs and Knucklehead Tribe, and today we're going to talk about how Wim Hof changed my breaking. As some of you know, I'm about 46 years old, about to be 47 in 3 months, and I had to find hacks to level up my breaking, right? And obviously I have to do it through diet and exercise. But one of the main components of recent times is that I do Wim Hof. So just to demonstrate it, there's going to be raw footage of me doing Wim Hof for about a breath hold of 2 minutes and 30 seconds right here. So I'll tell the story as we do it, as you see it. So I first heard of Wim Hof from my man Eddie Styles. Eddie Styles was like, yo, have you heard of this guy Wim Hof? And I was like, no. And he was like, yeah, this guy climbed Mount Kilimanjaro and the Mojave Desert in his shorts, and he didn't take a drink of water in the Mojave Desert, and he survived under the Arctic oceans for 7 minutes. And I was like, wait, what? And then he was like, yeah, he even like injected himself with the neurotoxin and he didn't get sick. And I was like, yeah, that's some kung fu movie stuff, man, or some crazy like hermit yogi hermit in the Himalayan mountains or something. It's like, nah, man, he had doctors and scientists measure out his biochemistry. And I was like, wait, what? So I started to do some research on him, and it was crazy because I was kind of actually tapping into like some of the ideas that he had through my boy Glide One, who was training me since 2012. You know, there's like this level of like circular breath as I'm doing these crazy exercises, like, you know, Tabata rounds of like burpees and like planks and like bicycle sit-ups and like just a barrage of punishment and trying to centralize my breath to focus in. But when I saw Wim Hof, it was like very related, but taken to the next level. So I was like, all right, this was like July 2020. And I was like, all right, I gotta give this a shot. So I started with the first 30 seconds breath hold. And I was like, oh, that was difficult. But then after like about a week or two, I was like, okay, let's increase it to 1 minute. Then 1 minute became 130. Then 130 became 2 minutes. And then 2 minutes became 230. Then it finally became 3 minutes. That's the longest I've done breath retention, and it's crazy because it's definitely changed my philosophy and approach to training. One thing that happens is what Wim Hof talks about is like we tap into our parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system. Basically, we're accessing the involuntary like organs. For instance, like your heart, like you could actually start to regulate your heartbeat, which is crazy because it just does it by itself, right? Your involuntary, your subconscious is controlling this stuff. But then you start having access to it, which is amazing. Then at the same time, what's going on is that we're producing adrenaline, right? And with that adrenaline, we're resetting the body. We hear about adrenaline in when like a situation where like a mother wants to like protect their kid and they get this crazy amount of strength out of nowhere, or you run faster, like, and that's the adrenaline. Even when we perform as b-boys and b-girls, we have this adrenaline when we go, but the problem is that there's this adrenaline dump, right? We waste all this adrenaline, and all of a sudden the next round we're just like our anaerobic happens, and then our thighs get weak and sore, and there's not enough oxygen getting to our limbs or through our core and through our breathing, so we start to get muscle fatigue. This is where Wim Hof's method really helps as far as if you're an athlete, because the adrenaline is happening, being practiced when we're lying there still. We're producing it in a very way where we're resetting versus like this dump happening. So through his practicing through us practicing Wim Hof, when I'm in a battle and I'm breathing and getting deep breaths through the round, and then when I'm waiting for my turn, I just take that big inhale. It resets your system. And I've experienced it in competition where like, yo, my thighs are burning. Then all of a sudden I take that inhale, deep inhale, exhale. All of a sudden I get this second wind. All of a sudden I don't feel that, I don't feel the fluids to my thighs, like stiffen up and tense, actually relax, and I can actually perform better. It's almost, and when we're practicing Wim Hof, we're basically working on the vagus nerve. We're working on pain tolerance. Usually the body's taken over the mind at this point. But because practicing these breathing techniques, the mind controls the body, even in the involuntary like organs. So then you start hitting this fight or flight, this focus point, where your first round is really good, obviously, and usually you have fatigue, and your third round you're tired. Your first round is as good as your third round, which is crazy, because then we start getting to David Goggin levels of taking souls. You know what I mean? We're actually taking souls. You see the whites of that person's eyes you're competing against, and I've experienced that 1 or 2 or 3 times, maybe even 4. And it's different because through this breathing, through the adrenaline, we are creating serotonin, we are creating dopamine, we're creating even DMT chemicals. Because of the breathing, all that oxygen gets to our brain, and we're getting deeper breaths and better movements. And not just that, even in stillness, as far as like stretching. So I was always stiff, right? Like I was always stiff. But through this breathing, I've learned how to sit in postures like straddles longer. Getting my bridges back, like I'm doing bridges, and I'm staying in bridges longer. Just from relaxing the breath, relaxing the vagus nerve, relaxing the parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system. We're accessing this. That way you're expanding your body and your biomechanics and your physiology through your mind. And that's the crazy part, right? That's the crazy part that I didn't think was possible, but now here I am, like, applying it. So I suggest for every B-boy and B-girl to practice this, to practice Wim Hof, because it's going to affect your performance as far as competition, as far as theater shows, street dancing, you name it, or even the ciphers. You learn to understand breathing, and from that breathing, this body machine gets more attuned with your mind and your creativity. And once that happens, like, dude, that's like next level, like, performance. That's next level, whatever you could think of, you could do. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, if you want to see more of me working out and my breaking, you can check me out on Instagram at PROFO_FLGZ, or on this channel. Check out the other videos I have. Press the like, subscribe, and the bell for notifications, and I'll see you later. Peace!